a deal on the biggest side of town. You know why? I got all that because I was born with a golden spoon. All the ability, all the looks. 4 times the world champion. 4 times. Limousine, bright lights, big city, pretty ladies. 5 times the world champion.
Trying to be a legend in the rap game, like Ric Flair.
Future Wrestling Podcast, right back here on Future Entertainment, and this is the return of Tuesday Takeover with OJ and I. OJ, welcome back, sir, my co-host, my greatest friend on the show ever. Sir, how are you doing?
Good, Logan. It's good to be back, man. It's been too long. Too long since we've been on here.
I know, it's been a while, and I'm excited about coming back here and doing something at least. I mean, it's been a while. OJ, though, even though you're not on Twitter right now because of the whole you getting banned.
Oh no, I'm on Twitter. I gotta be a good boy for a little bit.
Be a good boy. Don't be a broski.
Yeah, I gotta stop talking about OJ Simpson apparently.
Yeah. OJ, where can everybody check you out? Once again on Twitter, and for everybody, our Twitters are in the description. If you forget, so you don't have to go back and listen again.
Yeah, you can find me at OJ the Juice on Twitter. You can find it in the description, like Logan said. It's good stuff.
Oh, it's there.
I'm getting banned, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you never know. And of course, everybody, you guys can check me out right there on Twitter at LoganMyers144. And man, it's been a while, and I don't think we've lost a beat here in the beginning because we didn't mess up anything in the introduction, and I'm happy. I'm happy that didn't happen. We're not like some people, Kristen.
What?
No, nothing.
We'll talk about this offline.
Just in case you randomly come on and listen to my channel for some fucking reason. You stank ass bitch. No.
What the hell is going on?
You never know. Okay, but we're back. Tuesday Takeover, and I'm taking over this bitch.
Do we have to rewind? Do we have to rewind and start over again?
No, you guys can check me out there right on Twitter at LoganMyers444. This is Tuesday Takeover with OJ and I, the Juice, and the Wolverine.
Well, let's the Wolverine.
Because everybody's been calling me Wolverine for some reason this week because my name's Logan. First.
Well,
okay.
I hope you don't end up like Logan. That wouldn't be good.
That's pretty true. See, tonight's Tuesday Takeover, we're not going to talk about wrestling the whole time because there's a couple things I want to mention.
Oh, we'll talk about wrestling a good amount.
Oh yeah.
I got a few to talk about.
A few things we want to talk about, but this show's not going to be specifically wrestling. But speaking of Logan and the Wolverine, the whole fact that we're going to be getting the Marvel Universe is going to be getting the Avengers is going to be getting the Fantastic Four and Wolverine and X-Men in the near future.
Yeah, this has been known for a while, though, right? 20th Century Fox has been is going to license out the all that shit.
All that shit, it's finally coming. I'm excited about it because I'm a big Marvel Universe fan, so it's something I'm just. But the big rumor is going around, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but supposedly there was a leaked picture for Avengers 4, and I'm not spoiling anything for the movie specifically, but one of the post-credit pictures has been somebody decided to just find it and get a hold of it and blast it out there. Supposedly the X-Men, the guy in the wheelchair, everybody's favorite, one of everybody's favorite, is seen in the post-credits.
Professor X?
Yes, Professor
Come
X.
on, Logan, the guy in the
wheelchair. I know. I'm just saying in general, if people don't specifically know who I'm talking about when I say Professor, okay. Supposedly he's seen
Charles Xavier.
Yes, supposedly he's seen on one of the post-credit pictures and videos. So that's
Now,
going to be.
is it still James McAvoy, or is it like
I
Patrick Stewart, whatever?
I couldn't tell from the angle, honestly. I mean,
It'd be weird if they
every
it'd
bald
be
guy
kind of
looks
weird
the
if they brought
same
it
on the
in.
side. So
Right, but it'd be kind of weird if they brought it in and then they just started switching characters around. I mean, obviously, I think they'll be doing that for like the Fantastic Four. It probably won't be the cast of the last movie since that
no,
was
no, that was a
apparently
flop.
trash.
It was a
I
flop.
yeah, I haven't seen it still, and I really don't plan on it. But
No, I think they could use those guys from the last movie because they weren't bad. The plot was terrible.
no, 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 no. See, and you want to know why you can't do that?
Why is that?
Because Michael B. Jordan was the villain in Black Panther,
Uh, uh,
and he also played Human Torch in the Fantastic Four.
well, I mean, if they don't use him,
Although you know what? I'll tell you. Chris Evans did play Human Torch in the first Fantastic Four, and look at him now. He's Captain America.
yeah, and so I think anything can happen. I mean, look at it right now. Thanos, the guy that plays Thanos, is also voices another villain as well. So
Well, he voices Thanos because Thanos is CGI, but he plays Cable over in the Deadpool universe,
yep,
over in that 20th Century Fox. Yeah, so that's the thing is like it could get really confusing if they.
yeah, if they start doing something like that, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
you're right. You're definitely right. It is different that Chris Evans is he played the Human Torch in those movies, and now that he's Captain America, it's way different because that was then, and this is kind of now, and he's not
Yeah.
playing the Human Torch now, so it's a little bit different.
Right. Right.
But a lot of
Oh,
I
that's
really
exciting, man. That's exciting. I didn't even know. Well, I knew that it had been talks for a while, but to hear there's been screenshots coming out and whatnot.
that
That's really cool.
I really want Hugh Jackman to come back and play Logan and Wolverine. There is rumors that he kind of wants to come back and do it now that Marvel has it because he says he really wants to work with a lot of the Avengers and like he wants to work with Iron Man and all that. And he says it would be badass to fight the Hulk. So
Well, let's be 100% fair. There's also a bajillion dollars on the table now this is happening. There's so much with like marketing and merchandising and everything that it would kind of be silly for him to turn down an offer to come back and play Wolverine.
yeah, yeah,
At the end of the day, it is. I know it's a career, it's an artistic endeavor, but I think he'd be foolish to be like, because you can just smell it, especially with what was the last Thor movie that he did, and it was with Hulk. Ragnarok, right?
Ragnarok, and a lot of people criticized that because the jokes weren't funny enough and it seemed stupid. Ragnarok was one of the best Thor movies ever.
I mean, I think it was better than the other two. I think the other two were kind of shitty. But besides the point, I mean, it would be, people would be craving Wolverine and the Hulk in a movie, or like having their own little spin-off,
Yeah, you're right. You are definitely right about that. Now, I don't know if this is anything to be looking at or anything like that, but there was talks of Deadpool also coming to the Avengers, so that is something to look out for too.
Maybe. The problem I have with it is that it's a weird situation where it kind of just wouldn't fit.
Yeah, because it's rated. It's not rated.
There's that too, but it's also the whole like, just the character of Deadpool and like the zaniness, breaking the fourth wall. Just some of the themes, I guess, with Deadpool that like you wouldn't really get to explore within like the Avengers, like more serious universe. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm still kind. I mean, I love the two Deadpool movies for the simple fact that get to kind of see Deadpool on the big screen in a better format than what we saw with when he was in the Wolverine movie, when they literally sewed his mouth shut.
Yep.
But they still haven't really explored certain things that they did with the comics, like his fascination with like death. Like death is like the lover that he can't. He can never be with, so it makes it more enticing to him to try to get to death. Just shit like that. Like I feel like they've done a decent job with what they have to work with, but it hasn't been as good as it could be, or excuse me, as accurate, I should say, as it could be to like the comics. Because I'm a big Deadpool fan. Like for me, it's Deadpool, Punisher, Daredevil. Like those are my three dudes.
Yeah, you're right.
You good?
Just give me a second. I want to listen to my audio real quick just to make sure I'm not echoing or anything like that.
Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Is anybody out there? Just nod if you can hear me. Is there anyone at home? Relax, relax, relax. I need some information first.
Yep, I was
Just
sounding like a
in
robot,
case
so I fixed it. Okay.
Can you show me where it hurts? Sorry, Logan, I was singing while you were gone.
Alright, so I did hopefully fix that one. Rocky, thank you for letting me know. You are awesome at helping on that.
He's awesome, man. He is the fountain of youth.
Definitely is.
He's 150 years old and he looks like he's 10. How does that happen?
Look. Look. Now you know how you sound. Alright, so I did. Oh, hang on. No, it's not fixed. For fuck's sake.
Leave it.
I'm trying to fix this. Sorry about that.
Oh, Logan.
Well, I don't know why it does that to me.
150 years old and he looks like he's 10. How does that happen?
Sure. Wait, this is definitely Takeover. Alright, let me. Sorry about that, everyone.
Are we getting taken over on Tuesday Takeover?
Yeah.
How the hell does that happen?
I'm trying to fix this. Sorry about that. Okay, I did fix it. Good. We're good. Alright, so let's move on. Though, OJ.
Audio technician Logan Myers.
See, I know how to fix it. Can we fix it? Yes, we can.
Fucking no can apparently.
Alright. So, now.
Logan, I want to bring something up now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see any of All In?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How much did you see?
Whatever Facebook Live let me.
Are you saying you stole a pay-per-view, Logan?
People were streaming, so I
Logan,
was just like,
do you know that that's pirating and that's illegal?
I don't care. It's Facebook.
Am I gonna have to get your Facebook blocked or suspended?
No, I'm not gonna get
Getting
suspended.
piracy?
No, I'm not gonna get no.
I took a look at some links. Yeah, I watched the show for free too.
OJ says on Twitter, by the way, I don't mean to cut you
OJ
off.
says what?
I meant Rocky says, "Yup, I am as old as fuck Adam and Eve era. I never bite the apple, but I bite Eve's buttocks." LOL.
Jesus, Rocky.
That is funny. Now, there is a couple things that you wanted to mention about All In. The time restraints kind of hurt the main event.
Well, that was, yeah. I mean, it was kind of a weird way. Like I would have thought maybe they could have. I don't know. I wish like they would have showed the big go home promo that they had at the end that has been going around, has been circulating. I wish they would have had that as the end of the pay per view.
Oh yeah.
I think that would have been better for every fan to see that at the end. Like it was weird, right? It was like I feel like Cody winning the title probably should have closed out the show. I know that they were saying like, oh, I guess nobody wanted to basically main event the pay per view, so the Young Bucks basically had to just step up and do it. But the pacing of the card was just kind of weird. I don't know if you agree with me, but yeah, I don't know. The main event really didn't feel like a main event. The Cody versus Magnus match, in my opinion, is probably match of the night. It was really good.
It was really.
I know everybody's going around praising Kenny Omega and what's his name? Oh God, I can't believe I don't remember now.
Pentagon Jr.
Sure, yeah. Sorry, it blends together.
Yeah.
A lot of luchadors.
Yes, they do.
But here's the thing. Everything that Cody and Magnus did, or Nick Aldis, I'm going to call him Magnus. I know it's probably pissed a few people off, but everything that Cody and Magnus did was perfect. That's how a world championship match should feel. Everything from the ring entrances, I mean, they made it feel like an actual fight. And it's like, and I think WWE should take gigantic notice of that match in particular, and how they created a moment, how they created history, with Cody winning the NWA Championship that Dusty had held so many times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was excellent, but here's the problem: it was what an hour into the show.
Don't mean to cut you off. Rocky actually corrected us. It was Pentagon. Is it Pentagon or is it Pentagon L0?
Yeah, they call him something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't mean to cut you off.
But no worries. But yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Is like it was an hour into the show.
Yeah.
And it felt like the main event, and it was almost like after that match, I was kind of out of it. I was kind of out of the rest of the show.
Yeah, because I don't think the 6-man tag team needed to be the main event.
No, and I know like the whole nobody wanted to take the spot, but at some point you got to go, okay, what's really business wise like the most sense to make? Closing the show with Cody holding the NWA World Title, or whatever it was. It was probably 10 minutes for the main event, or a 10-minute match where nothing memorable really happened. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, how did you feel about the Magnus Cody match?
Oh, it was like Rocky says in the chat on the Twitters. He said Cody versus Aldis had that old school wrestling vibe to it. It did. It really brought back like a Dusty Rhodes type match. And that's what that certain championship needs to be. The NWA title needed to be like that.
It was a fight. That's essentially wrestling.
It wasn't a wrestling match. I mean, it was, but it was more of like this.
It brought the element of realism.
Yes, and that's what a lot of these championships, that's what's missing today sometimes on certain titles. Yeah, you have your high spots and your high flying, For example, okay, I know a lot of people will say, well, you're wrong, Logan, but every Brock Lesnar match, it didn't need to be a wrestling match. It just needed to be that hard hitting, main event type, heavyweight.
Brawl.
Yeah, a heavyweight title match.
And here's the thing, here's the thing. I know a lot of people criticize the Lesnar matches, but there was a lot of those that they gave me a good sense that the opponent might have a chance. I'll give you a good example. It was the Samoa Joe match.
Yes.
With the Samoa Joe match at Great Balls of Fire, I mean, they had Joe beat the shit out of him for a good amount of time, and yeah, I know they were like 9-minute sprints. But they were. It can be that. It can be that, and it can be exciting. Especially when they're doing 4-hour shows and shit like that. Like you need something different to break up the monotony. And that was one of the things that I had a real problem with All In. Was that to me it just kind of felt like any ROH show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was that extra special show. Maybe because of the placement of some matches, maybe because some of the guys. I mean, I knew pretty much who everyone on the card was, except for what was the only match? It was Matt Cross. I know M-Dog 20, but I didn't know his opponent. I don't know why that match was even on the card. They could have not had that match on the card, and they would have had plenty of time to do a lot of things. But it was a success from the standpoint that they were able to do it. They were able to get something done that a lot of people did not think that they could, selling out a decent-sized venue and putting on a completely self-funded show. I mean, they had sponsorship and whatnot, but they basically took power into their own hands. The Bucks and Cody. But it just wasn't that impressive to me. I just wasn't wowed. I just felt like it was another indie show. It was another indie show with just a really, really good budget. And yeah, I think that it's important that a show like this happened from like a business standpoint to kind of put WWE on the, I don't want to say on their heels necessarily, but to basically go, it's possible that we're not the only game in town.
Yep.
We don't have a monopoly on the business. But it was nothing that wowed me to the point where it was like, man, like if I had paid $40, I probably would have been really disappointed with this whole show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that goes to booking a little bit too, because I think that booking was very predictable going into the show. Especially, and the funny thing is, I know a lot of people were freaking out about the Chris Jericho spot. That was very predictable to me. Just knowing that the Omega and Jericho thing is not over, and I know that the big thing was that Jericho's building up that he wasn't going to be there. But it's like, it's one of those wrestling things where it's like, if they say they're not going to be there, it usually means that they 100% are.
Yeah, and we've heard Chris Jericho say, well, I'm not going to be there, and he's always there. He's always trolling the fans.
Yeah. He says, I'm going to come out and talk, and then he just, doesn't, hold the microphone. That was what he did back in, 2012 or whatever?
Yeah, at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And he came out at number 2 after Dolph Ziggler came out at 1.
Yep. So shit like that. So, I mean, I think like, it was good from a certain standpoint, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was as earth-shattering as people are trying to make it out to be. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
I think, like in the beginning, I was all in, and a lot of people are, and I think yes, it was a traditional independent scene type show, but it also had that other feel of where they if done right, All In could overtake anything that TNA has ever done.
Oh yeah, I actually 100% agree with that. I think that this was probably like this show. I would say sans the penis spot with Joey Ryan. I think that was so stupid. I'm not gonna go crazy on net and say this is why I don't watch wrestling, but I think that it was just. But the thing is guess what? People knew what they were getting when they paid money to see. Like, what else do you expect from Joey Ryan at this point?
At this point, I really don't know.
Right. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought at this point.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, for me, we all know how I feel about the dick spot. I cannot stand that, and everybody will throw me under the bus and say, well, the only reason you don't like it is because it's not wrestling and all that. It's not. Let's just be honest. It's.
Well, it. I feel like it kind of makes the whole thing. Like, how am I supposed to take him as like a serious competitor and one of the best in the world when he's doing that?
And we all know he's never going to WWE. Not with that.
No. But then people try to convince me that he's like a competent wrestler, and it's like, look, there's a point of comedy. Like, Santino was a legit shooter, but I'm never gonna look at him as like, oh, like that's the guy I want as my world champion. But he's good at what he does. He's got his gimmick and he runs with it, which is what Joey Ryan, I believe, does. So, like, I'm not like upset about it. It was borderline expected, but it's just not what I'm looking. It's just not my cup of tea. Oh, okay. That was what I was gonna say. Is that this show like is probably better than like most TNA pay-per-views that I had seen during their hype, during when they had Sting and Christian and Nash and Angle and shit like that. Like, it wasn't an incompetent show.
Yeah, you're totally right. And also, shout out to Travis. He says hello, boys.
Hey, Travis. We miss you, brother.
Yeah, we do. That's why I asked you if
So-
you were busy.
So that was all in. I mean, it was okay.
They went all in. They went all in. I'm proud. We're both proud of them for what they did. They accomplished something.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was different.
It was really different. There was some badass matches. I think the most underrated guy that was on that card last night was not last night, but on that show was you know who? Marty Scurll. I can't even say his name.
But see, here's the thing: is like this is what I'm saying about like the whole ROH whatever like comparison. That was just another match to me. I really didn't think about the whole like just. I kind of just went through the motions watching the Scurll match, where I was just like, okay, it's just gonna be a bunch of suplexes and
Yeah, you're right.
That's why it's like if they had saved Cody versus Magnus until the end, I would have been anticipating that all the way through. But then I kind of after that it was, I mean, except for the street fight, which was a good little brawling match, I really wasn't like clamoring for anything other than seeing Rey Mysterio again, because I'm a Rey Mysterio mark. But yeah, that was all in. And then the other thing too, the other big topic I wanted to ask you about was the Evolution pay-per-view. That's not selling well, bud. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I've heard some big rumors that it's not selling well, and a lot of people are questioning what's wrong. Why isn't it selling? Let's just be truthful for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, the women deserve this opportunity at hand. I'm gonna throw shots at somebody, and I don't care if anybody hates me for it. James Hebert posted on Facebook saying, that this was a bad call and it's disrespectful because they're going to, where, again, Literally
Where?
5 days after this pay-per-view.
Where are we talking about?
The place that they had the greatest Royal Rumble. I'm not even going to mention it.
Oh, Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, they're going back. And
Oh, 5 days after? I didn't know this.
5 days literally after this pay-per-view happens.
No shit.
Literally. And James
I did
thinks
not
it's
know that.
disrespectful when it's okay. Listen. Okay, to me it's not disrespectful because the women are still getting a pay-per-view all to themselves, for one. Two, do you know how much WWE is getting and making off of going to that place?
A lot.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
A
ridiculous
lot of
amount.
money. Like, there's no way in hell I would not take this opportunity.
No, right. They're not, yeah. They can't pass up on that opportunity.
So go ahead.
Well, let me just say. So I'll tell you why I felt that this show was going to be doomed from the start, and I've said as much. The problem with the idea behind giving the women their own pay-per-view and the whole Divas Evolution or Women's Evolution, whatever you want to call it, is that they want to just be treated just like all the other wrestlers. They want to have their time on shows. By giving them their own pay-per-view, what the WWE is essentially admitting is that the women are not a that they're like a different attraction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're their own attraction unto themselves. So basically what they're saying is that they're a sideshow. The other issue is that there's just not, let's be 100% honest, there's just not enough star power in the current women's division to justify having this show.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're reaching into the pockets and grabbing Trish Stratus and grabbing Lita. I think
apparently, you heard it earlier this morning when I was with Optic. Did you hear about Beth Phoenix and Nia Jax?
I didn't hear, but I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yep, apparently that's big rumor. Big rumor.
Yeah. See, and that's the problem. Of course, they got to go. It would be like, I mean, it's the same thing with Manias at one point where they were reaching in and they were grabbing The Rock and all these guys from the past. I mean, bringing Taker back once a year, basically saying like, hey, like the current crop of people that we have right now can't do this on their own. They need help. Because think about it, like in the early 2000s, especially, WWE never brought back guys specifically to headline their biggest shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rock and Austin at the time were two gigantic stars, and they headlined at least two, I believe, at least two Manias. So I think with the current crop, it's just not a good idea. I mean, I hate to say it, but I can't think. There's going to be fans who will buy the tickets and will go because they legitimately want to see women's wrestling. The thing is the family, you know, with kids, they're going to want to see everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, as a kid, I was never like, I only want to see guys who are giants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a situation where it's like, when you're paying to go to these shows, like, you want to see kids want to see Roman Reigns. They want to see Bailey. They want to see everybody. They want to see all the big stars. So when you're limiting it to, well, you're only going to be seeing the women, it's hard to justify for a lot of people going to see the show. No, maybe, I mean, I honestly, it could, by the time, I mean, it's still a month away. By the time it comes, it could sell out. But I think that's why this show is struggling. And I think that's why it's interesting that they keep announcing these big names and it's not getting the reaction I think they wanted. And I think the announcement of Alexa and Trish is not good. Like, I think that really hurt the card. I think a lot of people were unhappy with that announcement because they don't think that Alexa should be in that position. If you're going to use Trish for one more match, why are you using Alexa, who people think that WWE already gives way too much to?
Good point. You really got a good point on that one.
But I'm interested to hear why you think maybe this card isn't doing as well as they had hoped. And once again, like you said, you know what? This might just be for brownie points, like from a PR perspective. Like, look, we gave the women their own card, and then a few days later they go to a country that doesn't allow women to go places without men. Do you know what I mean? So kind of like, hey, yeah, I mean, we're going here for the money, but look what we did this week. We were also really good.
No, for me, I'll be quite honest with you. I think the only reason it's hurting right now is maybe because people do feel like it's disrespectful to give them a pay-per-view, so they're going to... No, this makes no sense, but there is people out there that probably think this way. And when I say this, it's going to sound stupid, okay? There are fans that are going to no-show going to this event because they think it's disrespectful that they're going 5 days after to a place that does not allow women, okay?
It's possible. I'm sure there's a few people out there...
And it does sound stupid, right?
No. People boycott certain things for all kinds of different reasons.
Yeah. And then, yeah. But part of me, I think, is because people view the women in a different way than the men, and that is the truth. There are people out there that are going to think that way, so they don't want to go to a wrestling event that doesn't have a Finn Balor or Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, or any of them.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think I would go because I want to see everybody. Mm-hmm. I don't just want to see Charlotte. I don't just want to see Finn Balor. I want to see all of them together. You know?
Yeah. I get that point.
Yeah.
So maybe that is kind of hurting the ticket price, the tickets and stuff like that people aren't paying.
Yeah, let me put it like this. There's a reason why they haven't done an all cruiserweight pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's I understand. I can't. I'm speechless on even trying to say something on that one because that's never going to happen. Which when they did have those live events for 205 Live, it actually did pretty well.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, it came around my area and it went to the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. That place holds like 300 people. You know what I mean? If that, or maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. So it's not like they were trying to sell out what they're trying to do now with an 11,000 seat arena. With basically with a division that's not necessarily the main focus.
Yeah, you see, and people are going to act like that in a way because they want to see their AJ Styles, like I said. And I get it. Yeah. I understand it. That's not a negative thinking on their part because, in all honesty, that would probably be me too. The women do deserve their own pay-per-view. I'm not saying it's not going to I think the women could steal the show on having their own pay-per-view, and that's just personal opinion.
Do you know? Do you know what I think WWE should have done? I think WWE should have had a mini tour with the women, and like
They could have gave
see
us
how well they draw house, see how well they do on the road.
yeah.
Because if it was
I think they could have promoted a 1 week of Raw and SmackDown only featuring the women. I think that would have worked.
I think that might have hurt ratings.
It's gonna hurt ratings, but I think it definitely gonna hurt ratings. I think in the long run, just look at it in this perspective. I think they would have probably done a lot better on doing that than a pay-per-view, because it's a whole different ball game.
In the long run, maybe, yeah. What was I gonna say? I mean, like I went to a house show late last year, and I was sad because I didn't realize it was a Raw only house show, and I was sad because I wanted to see Bobby Roode, I wanted to see AJ Styles. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, when you limit yourself, when the WWE's limiting themselves with having only one portion of the roster being there, and they're not like gigantic stars like an Undertaker, like a John Cena, like a Triple H, like well-established names who've been in the business for nearly 2 decades, it's gonna hurt. I just struggle to see it strong turnout, and it's crazy because it's in the New York market too. The New York market's known for watching shit on a shingle with wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, they come out. So I'm hoping it does well. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I think it might honestly be a flop, man. And it's unfortunate because it's not the women. It's not the women's fault.
No, it's
really
not.
Really not. It's because the booking, and because they're obsessed. They want to make this narrative that WWE's atoning for all of its sins. And here's the thing. Let me give you the best example that I can think of. So with the UFC for years, they didn't have women.
Yep.
Dana White, the promoter, said that there would never be women in the UFC. He completely changed his tune when Ronda Rousey came around and was kicking ass. Okay?
Yep.
So she did her thing. More women and more divisions got into the UFC. And now it's not even really thought about. They're just integrated into the cards. They're just a part of the show. It's not like, not to say like I don't know, maybe the luster wore off, but they're just treated like fighters, just like anybody else in the card. You know, there hasn't been like a real specific card where it's like, okay, now it's only the women on this card.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you know the only time they ever did that? The heavyweights, the men's heavyweights. There's a reason for that. Was because A, star power, and B, because it was going to produce fireworks. Just because they're so big and they were going to produce knockout submissions, etc. But they only did that one time, and it was a success.
Yeah. Now, question about this Evolution pay-per-view. Are you going to watch to see if it actually flops?
Am I going to watch to see if it flops?
Yeah, are you going to watch just to see how it goes?
Of course I'll be watching, Logan. I watch all the pay-per-views. I don't want it to flop. I don't. I think it'll be an okay card. But here's another thought for you, Logan. The issue I have is that all of them are being treated exactly the same to one another. So, what I mean by that is like, why are we seeing Lana becoming a serious competitor? Why are we seeing Zelina Vega starting to do matches with Almas? Why can't they just be managers in some cases? Do you know what I mean? That's why I think I appreciate like the Carmella character so much, because she was so different in terms of like the way she was using her. She was a heel. She was supposed to be a chicken shit heel. In the same way, like why did Ellsworth have to wrestle? Why couldn't he just be the male manager of Carmella? Shit like that. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a role. There's different roles in wrestling, especially, and I don't think that just because you're on the show, you necessarily have to be a competitor or be taken as a serious competitor.
Good point on that one. I gotta get
you have to have distinguishable characters. And right now, I really can't tell you what the difference is between Lana and Naomi. And Naomi's really fucking good. Lana, not so much.
No. Let me. Don't underestimate Lana, because I think she's really improved.
She's not terrible. She's not the worst, but
no, we've seen worse.
It's a situation where it's like I'm not sure that Lana should be competing in matches where she's getting close to title shots, like being in like Money in the Bank matches and shit like that.
Good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get. Yeah, Lana is number one in one category, being over because of Rusev. See, now here's the funny thing. A couple years ago, who was over between Rusev and Lana?
Lana.
Now who's over?
Rusev. See, the funny thing is that she's got more of a rub. Well, you know, he kind of, I don't know. He kind of got a rub off of her, but she's definitely benefiting from his success right now.
Exactly.
Where he got screwed in that scenario, and then they put him with Summer Rae and all that mess, yeah.
Good point on that one. Now, did you hear about the Mixed Match Challenges returning September 18th?
I did. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm interested. I think that they're gonna. If I'm not mistaken, they're gonna have everybody face everybody at some point.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And yes, I can announce. I think I wanted to bring this up because of the Mixed Match Challenge. It looks like Carmella is turning face.
Yeah, I mean, she teamed with Big E last time, so.
And the reason why I say this is because tonight on SmackDown, R-Truth was in the main event of SmackDown against The Miz.
Right.
He had some backstage segments with.
Where he called Carmella, Maurice Carmella, whatever. I did actually see that.
Funny. It was so fucking funny, though. I gotta admit, it was great.
I saw R-Truth was trending, and I'm like,
yeah,
hold on,
R-Truth.
Because I thought it was gonna go on, and there was gonna be like R-Truth, wish him best future endeavors. But no, it's good to see.
Carmella, though, on the other hand, apparently was called trash. I can't remember exactly what she was called specifically by Maurice. So she came out and was managing fucking R-Truth in the main event against The Miz, and I guess it's because of they're trying to promote the Mixed Match Challenge coming up. The reason why he was in the main event. I guess trying to make R-Truth seem a little bit more relevant.
Yeah. I mean, he lost, right? I'm assuming.
No. R-Truth won.
R-Truth won? Get the fuck out of here.
Because of Daniel Bryan came out and he got a win.
Okay. So it's kind of screwy. Alright. Well, goddamn.
Yep.
I wonder if what they'll do with him. I wonder if this is going to lead to something a little bit bigger.
Hopefully. I know a lot of people don't want to see fucking... They don't want to see R-Truth do anything. Really. Specifically.
I mean, they shouldn't do nothing with him.
They are paying him.
Exactly. I mean, the whole amnesia thing was kind of like, it was really stupid. But, I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. It's interesting that, wow. I can't believe R-Truth got a WWE main event win in the year 2018.
Yeah, I don't... Actually, good question for you. Did you see the picture of R-Truth's injury on his shoulder?
When?
The reason why R-Truth hasn't been seen in months is because of a really bad injury.
I mean, that explains it. I guess,
I'm going to send you pictures. I'm going to find the pictures and send them to you.
Oh, no. Alright. That should be interesting.
Yeah, you're not going to like this picture.
Hey, you know, I just found out. I didn't realize this. Zelina Vega was Rosita in TNA.
Yep.
I didn't know that. What? I feel like I should have known this.
Why am I going on Facebook trying to send it to you? That's funny. All right, before you see this, it is going to gross you out.
Okay.
So bear with me on this. Don't freak out when you see this. So if you got a really bad stomach on stuff like this,
Just give it to me.
this is what he posted on Twitter when he had the injuries.
Alright, let's see. Oh, yeah, it's a bone sticking out, that's for sure.
It's really gross. Really gross. I can't imagine how much pain he was in.
It looks like a giant nipple in his shoulder.
Yeah, it looks like like one of them giant pimples that people get, like if they don't wash themselves really good.
If they don't wash themselves, yeah, I agree.
Wash whatever, or like one of those pimples things that people get when they're on like have diabetes really bad or something like that.
Yeah.
It looks like one of those things that just like you have to pop.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It's really nasty. I'm not gonna post.
Thank you for sharing that with me, though.
Well,
I'm just gonna have to go lose my lunch after this show. Well, that's good. It's good to see that he's back. It's good to see that they're giving him something to do, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like you said, they are paying him after all.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing more than Mojo Rawley. Rawley, whatever you want to call him. Because I've heard
over in Hibiki Pro, you guys use Mojo more than WWE.
Good point.
What were you gonna say? You've heard rumblings about what?
I've heard what was I gonna say? I heard, but I'm trying to remember what the fuck I was gonna say. I can't remember. I'll be honest.
Damn it, Logan.
It's one of them like your brain.
Is it a rumor about Raleigh being in deep shit?
No, I've heard rumblings of something about another guy. I know you wanted to talk about might be getting actually two people that they've been rumored that might be getting Paul Heyman as a Paul Heyman guy. I know you wanted to talk about that too.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, you haven't heard? Oh.
No, you're gonna get my genuine reaction.
Oh, okay. So, first of all, I'm going to mention this guy first because of the fact that this was the stupidest booking in years. Okay? The dumbest. Kevin Owens quit WWE, quit Raw 2 weeks ago and came back on Raw last night. Makes no fucking sense at all. Can you agree?
Why did they give any reason for why he said he quit?
I guess losing or whatever the case was, his losing streak.
So bad booking. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, really bad.
Okay. Yeah. So then he comes back and he's supposed to be a Paul Heyman guy now?
Apparently that's rumblings that could end up happening. Is Kevin Owens could be the next Paul Heyman guy, while Brock Lesnar is busy with UFC and trying to train for that.
I kind of like it. But I mean, we saw what happened when Cesaro became a Paul Heyman guy that did nothing with him.
Well, okay, JD, it was last Monday. But technically, since Raw was last night, it was 2 Mondays ago.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I don't hate it. Especially not with the idea that, Paul Heyman only takes real shooters in his stable of guys.
Yeah.
But the thing is, do you really think that Paul Heyman will be there week in and week out? You don't think maybe he's kind of gotten used to the Brock schedule?
Apparently, even when Brock Lesnar's not there, Paul Heyman's been there every week behind the scenes. So
yeah, he probably does a little bit of producing and whatnot, maybe a little bit of agent work.
He has done some agent work and producing. He actually produced the segment that he did with he did all that. Apparently he's done a couple things, so it's.
I don't fucking hate it, because I mean, you could always play off Owens goes on this big streak or whatnot and credits it to Paul Heyman. I don't hate it. I'd have to look into what you were talking about with him quitting and whatnot. Was there a promo? Did he just walk out? What happened?
It was after the match against Seth Rollins, he lost.
Okay. All right. So who's the other guy? Who's the other guy?
Okay, JD. He says incorrect. He quit halfway through Raw on August 27th. Right back up on the very next Raw. That's 7 days. I'm just saying 2 Raws ago. Okay. Just because I said 2 weeks, I'm saying 2 Raws. Okay, it's a mistake. Okay, jeez.
How dare you, Logan, not get this shit completely accurate?
Well, I mean, it's just because
I can't even do this with you anymore.
Just because it's not 110%. But I'm saying Kevin Owens quit.
All right, so
2 Raws.
Okay, I 100. I got you, brother. Okay, so I understand. I get the general gist. So who's the other guy that's rumored to be a Paul Heyman guy?
Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm bracing myself because I got a bad feeling about it.
Bobby Lashley.
If you see, once again, I don't hate it, and you've been talking about wanting Lashley to go heel, anyways. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, what better way for him to go heel than to join up with Paul Heyman? Because I know you believe that he's a great heel talker. I don't think he's a good talker in general. I think this would be the best of both worlds. I think this would really work out for him. And like I said, if he's got a stable of I just got a bunch of legit shooters on my side, kind of I think they were trying to go with in the Attitude Era with the Hard Dungeon. They had Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock, etc. All kind of in the same sphere of storylines and whatnot. So why do you hate it? Why do you not like Lashley potentially becoming a Heyman guy?
I don't mean it by I don't like it. I mean it by I do like it. It's smart booking because Bobby Lashley's not really good on the mic. I think as a heel, Bobby Lashley's surpasses him being a face. Let's just get that right.
Okay.
As a heel, I think he would. Well, let's look at it like this. Everybody that I've talked to, working with the independent scene, talking to like guys like the Wild Samoans and all that stuff. Everyone has said working as a heel is a hell of a lot better than being a face. I agree. I understand that. They are right in some perspective on that.
To some extent, yeah.
But Paul Heyman will definitely bring a whole nother impact to that character for Bobby Lashley. And as soon as I say that, JD comes on the chat and says Lashley cuts good heel promos and impact while Heyman would give him more character. That's for sure. Too many guys on the roster are bland nothings. JD is correct. I can agree with that, definitely. There's a lot of guys that could benefit a guy like a Paul Heyman. Now, JD, I know you're going to laugh about the whole Drake Maverick being the new manager for AOP, because that made me laugh my ass off last night.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to both of you, JD and you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saw that too. That's fucking so funny to me.
It's so funny, and everybody was like, "Why did they get rid of Paul Ellering as their manager? He is too old and does not want to work."
Yeah, I know. I love Paul.
He's not gonna want to go, and travel like that at his age.
True.
He doesn't want
to.
Even though he says he would. I don't think
they're not gonna let him. They don't want him dying on their watch.
They're not gonna expect him to do that either. Drake Maverick, on the other hand, I think is a underrated promo.
So wait a second, hold on, help me out here. So who's the GM of 205 then?
Drake Maverick.
Have they changed?
Does that make any sense to you?
No, that makes no sense.
Unless something changed on 205 Live tonight, I'm not watching.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I've got I don't really think 205 needs an authority figure.
No.
It really is kind of just matches.
No,
and it wasn't.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
What's up? No. You go ahead.
Now, JD says Ellering was on record saying he was going to travel and be the manager for AOP. You are right about that. He did, but I don't. I think he would.
It's probably a WWE decision for them to go. Yeah, Paul. We appreciate what you did down there in Full Sail with the guys, but
Yeah, but we don't need you to do that. And I think for some reason, Vince McMahon. Okay, this is me thinking for Vince McMahon. Okay, Vince McMahon probably thought, well, Paul Ellering, we're going to try to see if these guys can do it on their own as a promo. They couldn't. I mean, they weren't terrible, but it just did not equal too well.
Those guys also weren't used for a fucking 2 months. 2-3 months. Those guys were sitting up themselves.
Yeah, because they didn't have anything for them at that time.
Yeah.
Even though they could just go out there and beat up jobbers, it would have worked out.
See, here's the thing: if it was a few months in and they were using them sporadically, and then they dumped Paul Ellering for Drake Maverick, I think that would have been That would have had a bigger impact.
Well, the reason why I think WWE did give them a chance, and I don't think they didn't really give them a chance to JD's right. He said WWE didn't even give AOP one piece of a chance, but they did give him a chance a couple times to cut a promo, and I think Vince McMahon just didn't like their style and didn't like how they did cut a promo the couple times that they allowed them to cut a promo. I think Vince McMahon in his eyes was like, well, we gave them an opportunity. I don't like their style, but we can't give them Paul Ellering back because they walked out on him. Well, let's give them Drake Maverick because he's the only guy that right now is a decent promo.
As far as I'm concerned, they're 3-minute warning. They're that gigantic Haas team that you throw in there to fuck people up. And how the fuck?
And
How did
JD's
they? How
right.
did they miss? How did they miss the opportunity to throw the belts on them instead of McIntyre and Ziggler?
Oh, I'm not against Drew McIntyre.
Dude, you know what would have been fucking great if the night after, with the B team, after they won the belts, if they go out there all cocky and shit on Raw and they go, we'll face anybody, anytime, blah blah blah. We're the champions. Fucking being a bunch of goofs, and then the AOP just comes out and destroys the fuck out of them for the belts. And then it's months of television of B Team trying to get better, trying to become legitimate wrestlers, and still not fucking being able to destroy AOP. But anyways, I digress. On that.
Yeah, you're right. And JD is also right. He said WWE didn't give him a piece of a chance. Like, he's right on that. And he also said, but Maverick as the manager of AOP really confuses him. It confuses me too, because how can you put a face manager, general manager of 205 Live, even though it is different because 205 Live isn't a Raw or SmackDown. How can you put...
Rockstar Spud is a good heel.
he would be a very good heel. He would cut a very decent promo for them. And JD's also again right. I mean, this is going to be a trend tonight, it seems like. He said Vince didn't like the foreigners. No way. He's right.
Foreigners?
Because that's what their gimmick kind of is now. Is because the one AOP guy, I can't remember which one, talks in a different language and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's from Albania, I think, or something like that, or Morocco.
And the other one cuts a okay promo in English. He's a little bit better than the other one. But
Vince definitely hates foreigners, but these guys aren't like. This isn't like Vince having to decide if he's going to actually put the belt on Shinsuke Nakamura. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another thing, though, I will say, okay?
These guys this tag team. It's like they haven't given a shit about it for years, so I don't see the reason why it's like that much of a dilemma to... When you have something like the AOP, you don't fuck that up. Like, it's really not that hard. Anyways.
I will say... Obviously, the direction they're going is Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will go and challenge Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler at Hell in a Cell for the tag team titles. I think at some point, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose will get the champions, right? Bear with me on this one. I really want your opinion on this, okay?
Okay.
This is a storyline idea, and I want to see what you guys think, okay? I think the team that defeats Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose when they win the championships from Dolph and Drew McIntyre is AOP, Authors of Pain. That the next night on Raw or something like that, we will see Dean Ambrose turn on Seth Rollins like the original plan was of all time. And Dean Ambrose joins AOP and Drake Maverick. Doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it does make sense.
I still think it should have been Roman leading AOP and maybe another heel as a gigantic faction.
Good point on that. JD also asks before I forget about this. He said, when was the last time we even saw Shinsuke Nakamura? Poor guy. He hasn't been on Raw or SmackDown.
United States champion?
We haven't seen... He wasn't even on SmackDown tonight.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
I mean, there's really no direction for...
So before I forget this...
Go ahead.
I fucking forget, like, between the whole Super Show they're doing in Australia next month and the Evolution.
Yeah, 5 fucking a.m. for Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not. I did the Saudi Arabia thing. I woke up and I watched it at 10 a.m. I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. for that shit. But besides the point, Fucking Hell in a Cell. I didn't even realize the show. This card doesn't really look like anything. It looks pretty shitty.
We got Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton inside the Hell in a Cell.
Makes no sense. I mean,
it
whatever.
does make a little bit of sense because
it makes a little bit of sense, but you know what?
Because Randy Orton is that Viper, that Predator who's goes in and he's psycho.
Yeah, but what the fuck? The whole feud is so dumb with him. What? He's hunting Jeff Hardy. Who cares? Yeah. I don't care about that feud. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And Jeff Hardy's a daredevil, so it's going to be a little intriguing to see what he does at his old age inside Hell in a Cell or on the top of the cell.
Just taking ridiculous bumps at 40-something years old.
Yep. Yeah.
I can't stand Jeff Hardy. Anyways,
I think. Bear with me on this one. My favorite feuds for Hell in a Cell, and there's 2 of them. Okay.
Okay.
Well, 3 of them. 3 of them actually. The first one is, of course, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns inside the Hell in a Cell. I think that's going to be really good. Thoughts?
Why is Strowman a heel now?
Apparently.
I fucking think it's so stupid.
It really is.
They had the perfect opportunity to have Shield be a heel faction again. Maybe with Seth as the tweener. And
hell, you can even make Roman Reigns a tweener.
I mean, technically, Roman is a tweener. He gets the varied reactions.
That's a different tweener. That's a different reaction.
He's an unintentional tweener. Okay, so Reigns versus Braun in Hell in a Cell as Strowman's cash-in. I don't like it. I don't know. It just doesn't, like, the whole thing with Strowman becoming heel. As a cash-in, I don't know. The whole thing just seems so funky to me. Especially since they already have, like, a side storyline going on with Reigns and Ambrose and Rollins being involved as well. Was the other feud you were going to say was AJ and Joe? Yeah. Why is that not in Hell in a Cell? That's a Hell in a Cell match. This is the thing. They've made it a personal feud. There was blood in the last match. This should be a Hell in a Cell match, more so than the other 2. Hell, you know what's funny? The Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss match would make more sense as a Hell in a Cell than the other 2, I think. Could you imagine, a promo with Ronda basically saying, like, I'm used to being locked in a cage, like, this doesn't, like, the challenge doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
And what the hell is this other match? Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Doesn't need to be happening. Especially not when they've already said that, Super Showdown, it's going to be Miz and DVD all on one. I don't like it. That's from you, Logan.
No statement.
No statement?
Like, JD, too soon. He said not excited for Lynch and Charlotte. That is my 3rd match.
It should be fine. I don't like the way this whole thing's been booked, but yeah. As a match itself, it would be good. That's the problem with having these gimmick pay-per-views. Is that Hell in a Cell is supposed to be more sporadic. Like, it's supposed to be like, oh, we're not sporadic. Yeah, Yeah, explore the moment. Like, it only needs to be brought in when feuds need a big stipulation to end it. Not when it's just like, oh, this is the month where Hell in a Cell happens. And I think that's the problem that we run into, and that's why they're doing these shitty matches there. And it's only a week away, and I feel like I said, it feels like they've given more focus into the 2 shows next month than they have with Hell in a Cell. I feel bad for the people that went or bought tickets.
See, here, okay. You're right about that. Big time right. See, now I want to know, Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is on fire right now, right?
Sure. I don't disagree. I mean, from what I've seen, yeah. And everybody seems to be, like, completely behind her. Why? What's up? What's your point?
I'm saying, do you think it's going to be one of the most underrated matches at this pay-per-view?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, underrated or rated where it rightly where it should be, because like the rest of the card looks like ass.
Good point. Okay, good point.
Someone keeps having their Windows alarm notification going off. Not me. I haven't heard yours, Logan.
Let me see. What the hell? It's not me.
Yeah. I don't know, but
Something's acting weird on the monitor. Real quick, hang on. So, what else would you like to talk about? Anything else?
there's not much I can really think of.
What about the whole,
Do you have anything? I'm down. I'm down for any questions.
Okay. So, NXT.
Yes.
Do you think in the long run we should get Velveteen Dream coming up?
Right now? Or eventually?
There's
I mean, the event
rumors
eventually is obvious, but what are the rumors, Logan?
that they were talking about having him come in.
Soon? Like how soon? Have they said anything, or just... You don't know?
I haven't heard much about.
Right now would be too soon. I don't think there's any spot for him on the card. Like most of the guys in NXT right about now. I think these rosters are very full, and I think Travis brought up recently that there's been no real spring cleaning in the last few years. There needs to be a spring cleaning. We need to get guys the fuck out of there. They're pushing R-Truth in 2018. I mean, it's probably going to be fun for a few weeks, but let's be serious. There's really been not much he's done in the last... Since probably like 2011. There's really been not much that he's done to warrant him being here. Yeah. So no, I would say Velveteen shouldn't be brought up too soon, or like now. Wait till there's a spot for him on the card.
Okay. Why is R-Truth in the main event of SmackDown?
And winning. Granted, it makes sense booking-wise, like you said, with Daniel Bryan. But giving him the assist.
Well, do you want to know some more of the tag teams that's going to be involved in Mixed Match Challenge?
I saw them all, but we can kind of go over them if you want.
JD says, JD asks, what don't you guys like about Lynch versus Charlotte booking or like about it? What I like about it is Becky Lynch has changed everything. It's made her more unique, in-ring, promo-wise as well. And Charlotte, I think this is going to be... See, when Charlotte and when Carmella, my apologies, when Carmella had the title, it didn't... That title was meaningless to me. And that's a personal opinion. For me, this feud is personal. Quick. It got personal very quickly. And on top of things, I think in the long run, a personal feud like this as a friendship, we've seen in the past friendship storylines not really work. And it worked.
I would have liked to have seen the Christian Cage, or just Christian, I guess, the Christian booking. You remember when Christian won the world title back in 2011?
Yeah.
Logan, yeah. And then he proceeded. So right then and there, he was elevated to main event status. I mean, for years I thought he should have been the main event. Much like for years people thought Becky should be right up there with the rest of them. Should have been in the title picture. What I would like to have seen is one-on-one Carmella and Becky. Becky beats Carmella at SummerSlam. It means a lot. Big moment. Everybody's loving it. Next night on SmackDown or whatever, she comes out. Charlotte comes back, goes, "Hey, what's up, buddy? Like, let's have a match. Like, let's do this. Let's do this for, women's wrestling or whatever the fuck." Becky's like, "Oh, okay." Fucking Charlotte beats Becky. Becky freaks the fuck out. That's how she becomes heel. Yeah. I think adding Charlotte to the match kind of hindered it. I'm not a big fan of in wrestling, like when a match is already announced and they just add somebody to it.
Yeah, like that. Well, she did win her way in.
Right, but originally it was going to be just Becky and Carmella.
Yeah, and it should.
And I think, and the thing is, I think that it should have been, especially with a heel like Carmella that they had built up for so long, it should have been a one-on-one situation. Because when you put two baby faces in there, now it's essentially just 2-on-1. Technically, it's not exactly, but it's kind of a situation where it's like they left wiggle room to go. Well, Carmella didn't really. She didn't lose it 1-on-1. Some shit like that, which I get is kind of like a heel thing, but the thing is I don't think Carmella should be back in that main event picture for a while. By main event, I mean just the women's title.
You're right.
And especially not as a fucking babyface. That's so ridiculous. Anyways,
JD says Dream is busy right now going to wrestle in appearances in Evolve, and the rumors of call-ups are EC3 and the Red Dragons.
Fucking the Red Dragons.
Ask JD. He'll tell you.
I'm looking this up.
Oh,
okay. Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yep. Now I've heard
I don't.
rumors
I
of
don't know.
I've heard
Don't know them
rumors.
by that name. I know them by the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Yeah, EC3. EC3 should be a fucking heel.
Yeah, big time.
That's before anything happens. He should be a fucking heel. Were you gonna say, Logan?
I was gonna say I've heard rumors of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Fish coming to the main roster and doing like a NXT takeover type deal on the main roster. That was a storyline pitched.
Do you remember the last NXT takeover when they did the Nexus? That didn't work out too well.
I think it would be different. They don't need to do. I think
I'm
just 3 guys. Like.
I'm kidding. What do you mean? I thought Roderick Strong could. I would love to see the 4 of them come up.
Yeah, me too. Well, yeah, I've heard rumors of Roger Strong too. Now, I will say...
Let's see, EC3 is the defined tweener character, but whatever. No, I don't think he's defined. The fucking fans chant his song. It's like... Okay. He only really feuds with heels, so I don't see that. I don't know. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah.
I think EC3 is.
Oh, EC3 did feud with Velveteen.
Yeah, Velveteen's a fucking heel.
Yeah, but also EC3 did feud with have a little bit of a feud, kind of like with Johnny Gargano, that was kind of hinted at, or also. So we got to also look at that.
Was it just a match? Was it just a match, or like a kind of like a segment? What was it?
It was like a segment when Johnny Gargano came out and cut a promo during the Tommaso Ciampa feud before he won the title.
Okay.
It was during a match of EC3.
That's just setting up television, I think.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Great. So the Shield can bury Undisputed Era. No, I don't think so.
No, the Shield's been buried the last 2 Raws. Not the last 2 weeks. The last 2 Raws. They got taken out by Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler. The Raw, not last night, but the Raw before. And last night they got destroyed by all the heels, so that's intriguing. Never seen that before.
Who, the Shield did?
Yeah. They did. Every single.
Why are they turning them heel?
Who?
The Shield.
They're not turning the Shield heel.
I know. Why?
They're not, though.
God, it's so frustrating.
You think they should be heels?
They've feuded with Braun Strowman 100%. Braun Strowman should have been the lone motherfucker against 3 of the top guys. Once again, they're literally softballed every opportunity to turn Roman heel, and then they can get the reaction that they've been looking for. Then they can maybe at some point, in a few years he'll peak as a heel, and then they can actually turn him babyface. Once the audience is like, you know what, fucking, what's his name? Roman's kind of cool. I kind of like Roman. But instead they go, hey Braun, you know how you've been like a fucking hot babyface for the last year?
The last at least 6 months to 9 months.
Yeah.
He's been the go-to guy, and it's definitely frustrating the fact that they even took the chant away. You're going to get these hands. No longer on the Titantron when he comes out. So look at that. Something that's gotten him over big time.
Yeah.
It's no longer even... Nothing makes sense to me. JD's right. It doesn't make sense when you have something that's like red hot fire, and it's calculating on all cylinders, on a character, on a gimmick, on a guy, and you literally bury that gimmick. And
Here's the thing. All right, I'll tell you this. So when they were bringing Dean back, there was rumors that Dean's gonna come back as a heel. He looks like a fucking heel right now. It's perfect.
he looks like a
Roman,
badass too.
he needs to be heel for the last at least 3 years. Excuse me. Seth is a red hot babyface right now. But here's the thing.
Big time red hot.
But here's the thing. He's gonna be over no matter what because he's such a workhorse. So you can have the character be heel-ish. It's like Bret Hart. It's like a Bret Hart or a Shawn Michaels. Even when they're supposed to be heel, they're gonna have their fans.
Yeah, they're gonna get that reaction.
Yeah. I can't believe that they're just going with fucking Uber Babyface Shield again.
See,
they're gonna look. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. People that like the Shield, they're gonna sell merch no matter what. So what the fuck are you doing?
It makes no sense. Braun Strowman was going to literally that hand, you're gonna get these hands was so over. He was selling T-shirts, big time T-shirts, and now all of a sudden it's gone. Vince McMahon thought it was the best for business to take that away and take that and make him heel when it made no sense. It makes no sense now. It won't make sense in the future. Give me one good reason why Braun Strowman as the heel in this whole feud is going to work out. Because it's the same thing we got last year.
It won't. Here's the thing, too. Here's the best comparison I'll make. Fucking Braun Strowman is Terminator 2. He's the movie Terminator 2. Terminator 1, the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, was a bad guy. He was unstoppable. He was working heel, you could say.
Yeah.
And when he came back in T2, he was babyface. And he was, he took damage, he took his hits, but he was still unstoppable. And you were having him fight against another Terminator. Well, the other Terminator is now the Shield. It should have been 3 guys, 3 fucking, what they are, they're fucking attack dogs. 3 guys going against this one Terminator that won't lay down. Do you know, here's the thing, you know how like they were doing the whole, let's try to get sympathy for Roman by making him bleed and making him look sad every week, and I can't beat Brock Lesnar, but I'm going to keep trying, guys, golly willikers.
Yeah.
People don't like that, but what people would like would be what happened at TLC last year, when they had Kane try to murder Braun. They had Kane try to murder Braun, and Braun still got the fuck up. Or even the ambulance with Roman last year, where Braun got crashed in the ambulance, still got the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Why does he need Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to help him?
It makes no fucking sense. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler should be off in their own world, not even involved with the storyline. All the heels shouldn't be involved with the storyline. I hate this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that you told me this. I don't like that you told me that all the heels came out and attacked the Shield.
Yeah. Again, it makes no sense.
God damn it, Logan. For a show about that wasn't gonna be about all wrestling, man. Oof.
Oh no, I'm not done unless you want to get off.
No, I got plenty of time. I just think it's hilarious that we were gonna try to talk some other things, but
yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit of Eminem and stuff too.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
But I want to say, see, now I lost it just a little bit. Part of it I just lost. Okay, so to me, Braun Strowman. I get this part, and I get this a little bit. It makes no sense on certain things that what I'm going to mention. Okay, I get that Brock Lesnar lost the Universal Championship, and he was a massive heel. He had the title as a heel. keyword there, heel, for a very long time. Okay, and I know you really want to push a face now as the champion and hold the belt for a little while. But Braun Strowman should not have turned heel. He could at least been a tweener in this whole situation. And it just he said, "Oh, I'm gonna cash in when a face to face."
Yep. Oh man, I got the hiccups like fucking crazy now. Sorry about that, Logan.
No, you're good.
Continue, brother.
Now Braun Strowman, on the other hand, I think, for me, if he was the tweener, it would have worked out a lot better.
If he was the tweener, maybe, but I think that dude's like a clearly defined babyface.
I know, but you could have. Stone Cold was never a total babyface. He was always a tweener. I think Braun Strowman.
I would say, here's the thing about Stone Cold. The thing about Stone Cold is that he was anti-authority, and people like that. When people are basically saying, hey, guess what, you're going to like Roman Reigns, and not this giant hoss of a guy that we have in Braun Strowman, people are going to go, fuck you, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to like Braun Strowman. I think that's another thing that helped him get massively over.
Yeah.
And I think that's a babyface attribute, is to be essentially what everybody wants to be.
In all honesty, I wanted Braun Strowman, or Roman. This could go for Roman Reigns too. Okay, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Either way, as a face, if they would have kept Braun Strowman face, Drew McIntyre was definitely that guy that should be in that hunt. That's no.
He should be a single star.
Definitely should.
Honestly, they fucked around with Ziggler so much that I don't think that he should even be in the company.
Yeah, you're right.
And the thing is I think that, I'm glad, whatever. He's making his gigantic paychecks every year. I'm sure Ziggler is, but
don't forget though, OJ. We did want to talk about this also, the whole that what WWE posted, so we do want to talk about that. But before we do,
what did they post? Whoa.
Hang. You already know. JD says it's to get a team of 3, just like the same storyline from years ago, just so the Shield can put another team down again. He said you can't have people rooting for somebody over Roman. Plain and simple.
Yeah, that's the WWE's mentality. Yeah, that's true.
Definitely their mentality. Now, WWE posted that Roman Reigns is unfortunately, not Roman Reigns, but the Shield is the best faction of all time.
Yeah.
That's what they posted. Over Evolution. Over the Four Horsemen. Over NWO. Over...
And I agree.
And the Nation of Domination. And all them factions of the past.
Nation wasn't even on the list. Which that's a little ridiculous. No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
Not in the top 10?
What they were mentioned.
Okay.
They were mentioned on...
I don't find this to be as controversial as a lot of people do.
See, you're going to laugh about this one. They wasn't posted on the top 10, but... and everybody complained about that. And, Dolph Ziggler on his promo actually cut saying they were better than Nation of Domination. So the WWE literally trolled everyone over that.
Yeah, that's good.
It kind of laughed about that. But JD's on point on saying you can't have people rooting for somebody over Roman. That's
just
Vince
the
McMahon.
Yeah, of course you can. You can in theory, but in practice they're not going to allow that.
Mm-mm. They wouldn't allow that even if you...
It's just like, guys. seriously, I don't get how it's like we can't just turn him heel for 2 years and then once people go, you know what, he's kind of cool, I kind of like him, let's start cheering him.
Exactly. You're
I don't understand. I don't understand why we can't do that. It's just booking 101. But anyways, I mean, Logan, you don't like the. I'm assuming that you don't. You're not a fan of the Shield being at number one.
I don't think they should be viewed as number one.
Okay.
I don't. I think they are definitely in maybe the top 5. I'll give them that. But as number one, that's like that's and NWO. What were they even ranked, OJ?
Like. Hold on. Sorry, I scratched my head and I lost my headset.
That's fine. Now, JD, I since you're listening, I want your opinion on this as well.
So okay. Yeah, NWO was like number 4 or something, or maybe number 3. I think it was actually might have been number. Oh, I know that DX was over them, which I find to be hilarious.
Of course, you're gonna put over the guy that half runs the company, and you don't want to make a Hulk Hogan in that category because he said the N-word.
So here's what I will say. So I will say that I actually don't think that the Shield pick is as controversial as a lot of people do. I think this will stand the test of time. And the reason I say that is because as individuals, they're all super successful, and as together, like, they're all super successful. A lot of those factions had holes in them. Like, here's the thing. When you look at the Horsemen, I think that it was clear-cut defined that Rick was the top guy.
Yeah. You're right.
With the Shield, I think all 3 are top guys.
And that's a good point.
And they're going to continue to be. Like, I don't see it ever stopping. Even when like Dean has been booked goofy, he's still one of the biggest merch pushers. He's still a favorite on the tip of everybody's tongue.
And he's a badass now. He, like, his belt and the.
Sure. But they've all been, technically, I'd say Dean's title run wasn't amazing or anything, but they've all been at the top at one point or another. They've all been considered, okay, here you go, here's the World Championship. And the other thing, too, is their titles have kind of meant something, in a sense where it's like they haven't won the title, like, 10 times, 12 times, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They've all had pretty clearly defined reigns, no pun intended.
No, I do have a question for you, but I'm going to let you finish, so.
Sure, I'll ask the question.
Well, I wanted to know, should DX be above the Shield? Since you technically did have Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
No. Because I think the Shield is the Shield. It's the 3 guys. There's different incarnations of DX, and the incarnation that they posted, was the one where it was Triple H and all the jobbers. To be completely fair.
Yeah, JD in the chat says, I am biased on and have hated the Shield since day one. Heart Foundation will be number 1 to me, but 3-man teams are not a faction. He says, just to be clear, Dean Ambrose looks the same as he did before he went on that weird vegan type diet he went on. He doesn't look the same in his built wise. He looks built but he does look the same, and his gimmick's still going to be the same, that he's a controversial insane character. Yes.
Yeah. So they are a faction because they are a small organized dissenting group within a larger one. So yeah, they are a group of 3 people with their basically a party, if you will, that has their own interest, and that is for the betterment of the Shield. So yeah, I'm gonna call them a faction.
No, you got a point on that. And he says he looks like John Moxley again.
No, John Moxley had shaggy hair, unless there was a time where he had a shaved head. Anyway, so not to get too off track from this. So, no, the thing that they had was, was DX with the jobbers. It was only Triple H at that point who had success. Any really significant success, I should say. The NWO, once again, there was way too many members at one point.
And Hulk Hogan was that main guy.
Sure, and so was Nash to an extent. Scott Hall kind of fucked his career up.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying NWO and WWE, not WCW. I'm talking
Oh, right, WWE, that was nothing. That was shit.
Yeah. So it's way different.
Right. The Horsemen, like I said, legacy, great faction, but once again, a clearly defined guy in Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. And then again, another team that went through incarnations. Who else? Who else was on that list? Evolution? Yeah, great team. The thing is the more and more it goes, I appreciate Evolution. I think that they're very overlooked when it comes to factions and the way that the story unfolded with them. But that being said, I still... It's just one of those things where the Shield has found success together and as individuals. Maybe if Ric Flair hadn't been, I don't know, in Evolution, because by the time he was in Evolution, he was, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And he really took.
You know who else was on that list, right? And JD mentions it. He says if we are just talking WWE factions.
Nexus. I saw. Yeah, Nexus. It's so funny to me because it's like the WWE buried Nexus themselves, so I don't really get what they're. I don't know. They shouldn't be on.
Why are they even in the top 10? The only time Nexus was even relevant at any point of that time was when that first night they debuted as the Nexus and attacked.
Yep, 100%. And then it went fucking.
Then it went to shit.
Nowhere. It went nowhere.
Nowhere. Close.
Nowhere real fucking fast.
But then again.
So yeah. No, there was a few on the list that I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, there's a few on the list that's like, no, I get your point on the whole fact that you said that the Shield, all 3 men have become something out of this. Evolution did the same thing. Triple H was there, but he was over way before then anyway, so it didn't really.
Yeah, you know what's funny? That's you just made me think of another good point that they all kind of got over together.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you don't see with a lot of factions. Even like Nexus, like you were just saying. There was only, Daniel Bryan and Wade Barrett were the only 2 guys who got over from it. Maybe a little bit Justin Gabriel for a period.
Just for like a month. For a cup of coffee. Heath Slater hasn't really become anything. But also...
But here's the thing, it's like... Heath Slater, I despised him coming out of Nexus. It was kind of like when he had that stink off of him after a while.
Yeah.
Is when I really started to appreciate him.
You're gonna laugh at this. The only time Heath Slater has ever been relevant is when he was called the Wendy's chick.
That's true. It's a good point. Thank God he got rid of that stupid hairstyle. Anyways, so yes, I didn't think this list was as controversial as, like you said, maybe the Nexus or was there somebody else that was? Oh, New Day being at number 6 is a little ridiculous to me.
That is a faction, but they've also gotten over.
They have longevity. They've been for a while. They're good merch sellers, but come on, Over the Heart Foundation, fuck out of here.
Yeah, Over the Heart Foundation, that's crazy. That's insane. Now they should be on the list, no doubt.
I don't even know if I'd put them.
I would, because they're all three. They're all three. Yeah, but in my opinion, if you want to talk, they all three have gotten over, and we never expected that to happen. So the Shield, it's a different story because they were over day one because of how they were introduced. That was the best storytelling and booking by WWE for a faction coming in because nobody expected.
Maybe they easily could have flopped though too.
Oh, big time they could have.
They were given a big spot, but they easily could have flopped.
And
it was one of those cases where it was like they were given a lot really quickly, and they were able to fly with it.
Yeah, and then again, I will say this for the New Day. I think the reason why I would put them on that pedestal as a faction is because of the fact that let's just be honest. All three, everybody on day one said this is not going to work. This gimmick is not going to work. Everybody hated this idea of what they wanted to do with the New Day, and look what happened. They got over. Nobody would have thought Xavier Woods was going to actually become somebody some way.
A funny thing is, I think that it saved the careers of Kofi and Big E.
Yeah, and I think it's going.
And still to this day, it gives them something to do.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyways, let's close out the show talking about Eminem.
Yep, let's close out the show talking all about Eminem.
So we started with something non-wrestling. We did about 2 hours of wrestling, and then closing out with another non-wrestling.
It hasn't been 2 hours, sir. It's only been 1 hour and 52 minutes.
All right, Logan. It says 2 hours. It started streaming 2 hours ago.
I'm just going with it. With you. Now MGK versus Eminem.
Logan, how long was Mabel versus Goldust at SummerSlam 1900?
I'm not even going to answer this question because
Alright, Logan. So I have not listened to the Eminem album yet, but I did listen to the MGK thing today.
Yeah.
I don't think MGK said anything wrong.
Hang on, what'd you say? He didn't say anything.
I don't think MGK said anything that wasn't true.
That wasn't true. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's 100% right.
Good point. Okay. MGK made a controversial diss to Eminem, big time. He shouldn't have mentioned Haley. I think that was a little bit borderline.
Maybe a step too far, yeah.
A step too far. Because Eminem never mentioned anything about his daughter, just to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
He did throw some shots. Eminem did, and it's understandable that he did. I get it why Eminem did, and it's Eminem is clinging on to something that everybody is thinking he's washed up. He's washed up.
He's washed up.
Okay, OJ, I get it. I put on Facebook. Okay, all I saw on my timeline yesterday was M versus MGK. I see. This is what I posted. I'm reading it. I see arguments of he's washed up or he's gonna get destroyed by Eminem. Okay. That's all I saw, and it's true. Because everything that I scrolled up or down, that's all I saw. So it was funny. And this is what I posted. You guys do realize that it was a publicity stunt and you all bit on it. Am I right?
In terms of what?
The disses by MGK and Eminem, that was a publicity stunt. I think it was planned all along.
You think they're working the system?
They're working the system. They're pulling a WWE.
My friend brought up a theory because apparently on the new album, Eminem has like a lot of disses to a lot of people.
Oh, a lot. He did, including
I
Drake.
have not listened to the album yet.
You need to listen.
Maybe. I have not liked any of that, and that was the thing. That one of the things that MGK said. I have not liked anything that Eminem has put out in probably the last decade.
Good point. Well, decade, I wouldn't say decade.
That's decade for me, man. I don't think. I know a lot of people didn't like. Was it Relapse? A lot of people shit on the Relapse album. I didn't think it was terrible. I know I'm probably the minority in that scenario. So, like I said, my friend said that there was a lot of disses thrown on that album, and that being the case, I've come to the theory that maybe Eminem is doing this to put over all the young rappers.
Okay, there was more to my post, and
Okay.
and I think that part of what you just said is what I kind of said. I said for starters, Eminem isn't better than MGK. I'm not gonna say that. Okay.
Overall, what do you mean by like skill or like?
Like overall, like skill, anything that you want to mention about it. Okay. Like.
Okay.
Lyrics or music or anything. I think Eminem has produced a lot of great music, even though people criticize it. A lot of people didn't like Revival that he brought out in November. There's some great songs on there that I think people are just, you know how they are. People are going to complain no matter what. I also said Eminem isn't better than MGK, and I also said MGK isn't better than Eminem. I said Eminem has always... Okay, MGK is one of the current best, and I put all caps in current. I said, and Eminem has always been the best. You know?
Okay.
And I said they are both equal in some way. Eminem wanted to transition into a current generation's rapping, and it wasn't him. I know you can agree with me on that. He wanted to produce songs and music that was for what the generation is doing now.
To some extent.
Yeah.
See, I think that because of these disses, these rappers are having to be on their like top game. They can't be lazy with their music. Because that's one of the things that's been kind of missing in rap for the last bunch of years. It's like good diss tracks going back and forth. Basically, when you're dissing people, you have to be 100%. Like you have to be clear and concise. And that was one of the things I noticed is that like, I cannot stand MGK. I really don't like his music, but I think that this was one of his better tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it so interesting that it's because Eminem dissed him, because they've had a long-standing feud, that MGK has had to basically be on his best game. That's why I'm wondering if like this is all like kind of a giant scam by Eminem.
Yeah, kind of like what I said, like my publicity stunt that I said, because it
Yeah.
does feel like that. Really does feel like that. I also said that just because Eminem wanted to transition into that current generation's rapping, that didn't mean he was washed up. He did this album and dissed others. Yes, he did. He did some unique stuff that nobody expected him to do. He didn't do that to make people mad or upset. He was giving them a shout out. He even said on one of the songs, OJ, this is a lose-lose for him and a win-win for everyone else.
So yeah, he probably is just working everybody.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's, him saying that's showing respect to the new generation, for one. And after all said and done, Eminem's the greatest of all time and a lyrical genius. We all know that. He has pulled out some of the best lyrics that known to man, right?
He's creative, yeah.
Very creative. And I think MGK is one of the most underrated lyricists in the game. I think his music's trash. Some of the music's good, some of it's trash. But I also think in the long run, he can really pull off some great lyrics as well. But on my final note that I said is...
He showed some potential in the track, in the diss track for me.
Yeah, he did. He showed some potential. I think what Eminem was doing was he wasn't trying to diss to piss anybody off or throw shots and stir up drama. I think what Eminem was trying to do was to stir the pot to get these rappers to do what songs like Eminem, and not just do this auto-tune and all the other bullshit like mumbling, because he even mentioned that. He even mentioned that he's like mumbling. The mumbles is just does not work.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and he's right. It does not work for anybody. But I said on my final note, NF is the future. Have you ever heard of NF?
Of course I have.
Yeah, he's.
I honestly thought. Now the only song that I really like by him is "Let You Down," which was all over the airwaves last year, even kind of still to current day. But I actually thought that it was a song off a new Eminem album when I first heard it. Because he sounds so similar to how old Eminem used to.
Yeah, he has that style, and see, this is part of what I posted on Facebook, and I know it was a little bit of a long thing. I said he doesn't need to cuss to produce good rap songs, and he's titled under Christian music. Again, y'all bid on the publicity stunt, and it's only going to be good for everyone. Next thing we know, Eminem and MGK will be on a track together. Then everyone will be complaining. Plain and simple.
Yeah. And that's all I really got to say about that. It's interesting, man. I'd like to see if Eminem's going to respond to the whole situation.
I think he will. But I mean, if this is totally like not a work and not a publicity stunt, like I think, then throwing shots and mentioning Haley was I think a little overboard. Like it didn't need to be done. And then he also posted on Twitter, and I don't know if you saw it.
He said he was gonna bang the ex-wife there too.
Yeah, on one of the songs. MGK posted on Twitter, all due respect, which is, it's respectful to say that. He said, all due respect, Haley is fucking hot.
Oof.
All due respect.
Yeah, that's not good.
He went overboard big time.
That's gonna, yeah.
Yeah, you don't mention the family. Eminem didn't. He just said, kind of, to me, it was a shout out more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a specific way of dissing somebody and a different way of giving a shout out, but also like
there's a thing about going personally after somebody, exactly. And then going after their rap, going after their art. Yeah, right. I agree, Logan.
But in the long run, everybody, this has been Tuesday Takeover. I think it's time to wrap it up, OJ.
Yeah.
We're not going to plug ourselves. It's in the description, guys. So there you go. No issues on that. For me and OJ, thanks for coming on again. I'm glad we're back.
I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to do another one soon.
Yeah, definitely soon we will be doing something. Let me guess. Let's throw a shot out there, OJ. What's the next show you would like to do? Do you want to try to book one of the great debate shows and get that new thing going on what our plans are?
Yeah.
Which one would you like to do? Or do you want to discuss it after we get off?
We'll discuss it after. I'm thinking something to do with Russo and Cornette.
Okay. But everybody,
I think you know where I'd be going with that.
I know where you're going with that. I'm with it on that. But for me and OJ, thanks for coming on once again. Everybody, have a wonderful afternoon, night, morning, wherever you're at. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And also, guys, be on the lookout for one of my tweets on the next show. And everybody have a wonderful night, and also hope you guys had a great Labor Day weekend.
Peace out, y'all.
Good night, everyone.